What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some battles with a triple shadow team. This is the first triple shadow team that I'm going to be showcasing on my channel this season, and it's in the form of an ABB team. So I've got Shadow Ho-oh and Shadow Charizard in the back, both fire and flying types, so obviously they're super weak to rock, also weak to water and electric. So we've got a grass type in the lead that's going to be dealing super effective damage against the rock types, super effective damage against the water types, and then resisting both water and electric types. So it should cover the weaknesses of the back two Pokemon fairly well. And the idea behind these kind of teams is that if you face a fairly neutral or a bad matchup in the lead, then you're going to switch into one of your back Pokemon, bait out the hardest counter to that Pokemon so that later on in the game the other back Pokemon should have a lot more play in the battle. And yeah, I didn't put too much thought into this team. I just sort of threw it together really quickly and decided to go for it. So I had a lot of success with this team. I went 4-1 4 times, and then I went 3-2 in my first day of battling with this team. And I'm just going to show you some highlights from those battles, some of the most entertaining battles, some of the best comebacks, and also some controversial battles. So with that being said, let's just get into the video now. So into the first battle, we lead into a Melmetal. So this is not something I really thought about when I was making this team, and actually I don't think I'd seen any Melmetal in the Remix Cup until this battle. Once I made this team, this is the very first battle using the team. So what I'm going to do here is throw both my leaf blades. I've tanked one rock slide, but I do need to save this Bellossom just in case they have something that is even worse against my team in the back. So we're going to switch into Ho-oh. We get some incinerate damage. We obviously have to shield the rock slide, and they have a lantern. So what the heck is this team? But that is why it's important that I have to switch out, even though the Melmetal is a very bad lead for us. We're going to let the Thunderbolt go through. We got a shield with the Earthquake, so that's great for us. We're going to come back in with the Bellossom. We're just going to throw the Leaf Blade straight away, because they should be pretty close to another Thunderbolt. The Leaf Blade gets through and it does big damage, but it doesn't KO, and they get to a charge move. It is a Thunderbolt that also doesn't KO. We're going to instant switch into Charizard here. They have a Shadow Machamp in the back. So that was only 5 counters, so it's definitely just a cross chop, but we kind of have to shield anyway because Shadow Charizard is so squishy. They switch into the Melmetal to try and catch a move, but we don't intend on throwing, and we're able to Dragon Breath down the Machamp and take that game. So GG's there. Really nervous first battle for me with this team. So we lead into a Hypno, and they actually switch out for us, so we can just switch into the Shadow Ho-oh here. I was just waiting to see if it was a Melmetal. I saw the typing straight away, but you know, after the very nervy first game, I was making sure that it was 100% a Registeel that they switched into. We come in with the Ho-oh, we take out the Registeel, and now we're going to get to a Brave Bird against this Hypno, and that does huge damage against the Hypno. And we're going to go straight for the Leaf Blade because we have it stored already. It goes through and they have a Magcargo in the back, so this is not great. We have something 4 times weak to rock in the back, so we're just going to go for the Leaf Blade. We actually get a shield, so that's really what we wanted, and now we force them to throw here, so that's great. We're going to let it go through, and then we're going to come in with the Shadow Charizard, and hopefully the Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw damage will be enough to take out this Magcargo before they get to 3 Rock Tombs. Fortunately for us, they don't have a rock fast move, so these Incinerates aren't doing that much damage. They do get to the second Rock Tomb, but you can see here our Dragon Breath has actually done huge damage, and we're going to get to the Dragon Claw here. And that's going to take out the Magcargo, and we're going to take that game. GG's to my opponent there. Into the next battle, we lead into the new Pokemon. I think it's pronounced Druddigon. We lagged at the start there, so unfortunately they get to the charge move and we don't get a fast move through. We're just going to switch into the Charizard here. They actually switch into a Toxicroak, so this is a pretty good matchup for us. We're going to go for the Dragon Claw. That was way too quick to be a Sludge Bomb, so we're going to let it go through. Mud Bomb is resisted, but it still does big damage against the Charizard, and we don't even get to a Dragon Claw here, so that is really bad for us. We're going to come back in with the Shadow Ho-oh now, and we're going to call the bait again. And unfortunately it's a sludge bomb, so it does big damage. We're going to switch straight away into the Bellossom. They switch into a Drifblim. We're going to go for the Dazzling Gleam. This will do quite a lot of damage to the Drifblim. It goes through, and then there my opponent lagged, so we get to Leaf Blade before they can throw the Icy Wind, and we're going to take out the Drifblim here. We're going to get to another Leaf Blade. Hopefully we can get a shield here, and we do. So all we need to do is get an Incinerate through if they throw the charge move. They throw the charge move, but we don't get an Incinerate through, so we're just going to let this go through because there's nothing we can do there. But you will see in a future match that if I'd have shielded that, there might still have been a chance that I could win. Into the next game. I think this might be the second set now. We lead into a Bronzong. Awful lead for us. We switch into the Charizard and they have an Omastar. So we are getting absolutely hard countered in this game right here. It's like they have the perfect team to take out my Pokemon. We're going to let this go through. At worst it's a Rock Slide, but it is just a Rock Blast, so that's great. It does barely anything to the Bellossom. We're going to go for one more Bullet Seed and throw the Leaf Blade straight away. And then we're going to switch into the Ho-oh, hopefully get an Incinerate through. Unfortunately we don't, and we are going to have to shield the Psyshock because it's neutral and it will do quite a lot of damage. We actually did get the Incinerate through there, it's just the damage and the animation applied after the charge move had gone through. So that's a pretty common bug that's going on at the moment, and it is really frustrating because it sort of impacts your decision making. We get to the Brave Bird there, we take out the Wigglytuff, and we get an Incinerate on the Bronzor before they take us out. So hopefully they're now in the Leaf Blade range, plus maybe a few Bullet Seeds. We shield the Psyshock here, we throw one more Bullet Seed and throw the Leaf Blade. And as long as we can tank one more fast move, we can get to the second Leaf Blade here, and we're going to take out this Bronzor. And GG's to my opponents there. Really close game, but we're just barely able to take it. Into the next game, we lead into a Dugong here, so a pretty neutral matchup. So we are going to stay in, and we're going to try and get both their shields before we switch out into the Charizard. So we get the first shield. They get to an Icy Wind. We are going to shield this, and then we're going to throw the Leaf Blade straight away. Hopefully this gets a shield, otherwise it doesn't matter, we can come in with the Charizard and farm down. We're going to switch into the Charizard. They're not switching out. We're going to go for the Dragon Claw. This won't KO, but it will do quite a lot of damage. And they're not switching out still, and they're going to throw a charge move, so I'm thinking if they don't have anything for Charizard, they probably don't have anything for the Ho-oh either. So I'm going to come in with the Ho-oh now. One Incinerate, and we're able to take out the Dugong. And now they have a Fury Cutter Gliscor. So because the Fury Cutters are doing barely any damage, we're going to let this Night Slash go through. We're going to throw one more Incinerate and then throw the Brave Bird. And now we're going to switch out straight away into the Bellossom. They've actually got a Greedent, so we might have been able to stay in there. We're going to get to a Leaf Blade here. It does about 40% to the Greedent. That thing is very bulky. We're going to let the Body Slam go through. It doesn't KO us, so now we're able to get to another Leaf Blade here. And we will put the Greedent very low, but unfortunately they're going to be able to get quite a lot of farm. We come in with the Ho-oh. We don't get the Incinerate through. They might have back-to-back Body Slams, but the Incinerate goes through after the charge move again, and we're able to take that game. So that's what I was saying earlier on. If we'd have shielded against the Druddigon, we might have been able to get that Incinerate through and then click on the Brave Bird. Here we're actually facing against the exact same team, so I'm not sure if this is like a content creators team or it's a popular team on PvPoke, but we're facing the same team here. Unfortunately we did lag at the start, so we were a turn behind. We're going to do the exact same thing. We'll come in with the Charizard. This time they're going for the Icy Wind. There's no way that's a Water Pulse. So we're just going to let this go through. They switch into the Greedent here. And unfortunately we don't get to the Blast Burn before they get to a Body Slam. So we are going to shield this. We're going to farm up a little bit extra and then throw the Blast Burn on CMP here. This should still do huge damage, and it nearly takes out the Greedent, but they get to a charge move. And this will take out the Charizard. Well, actually, it won't take out the Charizard because we lagged. So we're actually just letting them get to the Body Slam again because it would have taken us out. So there's no point like So we just let them get it, and they actually farmed up so much energy that they now have a crunch to throw into the Ho-oh. I was just doing them a favor, but they completely took advantage of it, and I guess that's just what happens in GBL. Lag happens, so maybe they just thought I was lagging. We hit the Brave Bird there, we switch into the Bellossom, we get a bullet seed through, and this is just going to be a mud bomb, and now we are going to be able to survive 2 ice shards, get to the leaf blade here, take out the dugong, and then we are able to farm down the Whiscash in the back, so we're still able to take that game. GG's to my opponent there, and you see that was a 4-on-1 set. I forgot to edit that out. Now we lead into an Alolan Raichu, so this is where we want to see it. Unfortunately, again, we lagged right at the start, so we're just going to throw the Leaf Blade straight away. Otherwise, they're going to end up getting in 3 fast moves. We are just going to let this go through. If it's a Psychic, then that's going to really suck, but it's just a Thunder Punch, so that's great for us. We are going to get a second shield here, and the Raichu throws, and if they Thunder Punch us, we will survive and we'll be able to hit the Leaf Blade. And unfortunately, we over-tapped there, so we had the energy there, but we needed to wait for it to actually register for us. And with the recent update, I feel like you have to wait even longer to be credited with the energy there. They actually have a Water Gun Lapras here, so we're just barely able to get to the Blast Burn before they take us out. And boom, we take out the Lapras. We only have the Ho-oh left, and luckily we get an Incinerate through here. And as long as they didn't have the back-to-back, we're able to farm them down, and then they come in with a Charizard. We're going to farm up as much energy just in case this Brave Bird doesn't KO. But boom, it's obviously going to KO. It's a Brave Bird from Shadow Ho-oh on a Charizard, and we're able to take that game despite the frustrating overtap at the beginning there. We lead into a Magmortar, so that's definitely not something you see very often. This thing could have Thunderbolt because of the community day. We're lagging here, they get the extra fire spin through, and now they definitely have enough for the Thunderbolt. They go for the Thunderbolt, so we're going to shield it up. And now here, this can only be a Fire Punch or a Brick Break. It is just a Brick Break, so we tank that and we farm them down. And we're going to try and get to the Blast Burn. It is a Drifblim that comes in. Now what I should do is just let my Charizard go down, but instead I wanted to bring in the Shadow Ho-oh so they don't farm us down. And we're able to get to the Brave Bird here. Even with our attack lowered, this is still going to KO. And boom, we take out the Drifblim, and they have a Trevenant in the back. And they're just barely able to get to the charge move before we get to ours. Now all we need to do here is land a Leaf Blade, and we should be able to take out this Trevenant because it is a fairly squishy grass type. But instead, we try and catch a charge move. That's really stupid. Now they have a Shadow Ball. Have I just messed up this game? No, we survive with 1 HP, we get off this Leaf Blade, and we're able to take out that Trevenant there. So I made that game a lot harder than it needed to be, but you know, it's all for the content. I just wanted to make it more exciting for you guys, so yep, that's definitely what it was. We lead into a Pelipper here. This is a fairly neutral matchup. They're obviously doing super effective with the wing attacks, but unless they throw the Hurricane, their charge moves are going to be resisted. They actually switch out, so now we're going to take advantage of this. We're going to go for the Earthquake here. Unfortunately, with Incinerate, it's very difficult to time our charge moves up against 3-turn moves, so they get an extra charm through, but that's okay. We're still able to get to the Brave Bird here, and this is going to take out the Wigglytuff because they no longer have any shields. They come back in with the Pelipper. We're just going to hope that they go for a Weather Ball instead of the Hurricane, and it is just a Weather Ball. We throw the Leaf Blade here, and then we're going to insta swap into our Charizard to try and farm them down. They also swap into a Flygon, and these Dragon Tails are doing huge damage to us, but we're just barely doing more damage with the Dragon Breath. And we're going to get to a charge move here, and we're going to throw the Blast Burn into the Pelipper. There was no need for this, but I just felt like doing it because I had enough energy, and we take that game. GG's to my opponent there. Into the next game, another Melmetal lead. Again, this is not great for us, and we did actually come up against quite a few Melmetals in our time using this team, and I'm not going to include all of those battles because some of them are pretty similar teams. But here, same thing, we're going to throw the second Leaf Blade and then we're going to switch into the Shadow Ho-oh to get some Incinerate damage onto the Melmetal. We are obviously going to have to shield here, but that's fine. And now they come in with a Golbat, so they get to the Poison Fang here and we get an extra Incinerate through because they threw straight away. That's really good for us. We're actually going to bait with an Earthquake here. They have lowered our defense, and if we throw a Brave Bird, we'll be lowering our defense by another 3 stages. So here we go for the Brave Bird. This will either get the last shield or it will take out the Golbat. And actually they threw a Poison Fang there, so that shouldn't have happened. They might have lagged one turn there, and if they did, that's really unfortunate, but that's just GBL unfortunately. We're going to catch the Poison Fang on the Bellossom here. We're thinking that Charizard is our win con now, and we don't really want our defense lowered. They come in with a Wigglytuff. This is okay because shields are down, and this Blast Burn is going to do huge damage to the Wigglytuff. Actually, one Dragon Breath takes out the Wigglytuff, Dragon Breath takes out the Melmetal, and Dragon Breath takes out the Golbat there. So Dragon Breath is OP confirmed. Into the next game, we lead into a Frostlass, so this is not a good lead. We're going to switch into the Charizard straight away, and they actually have an Alomomola, so I don't fight this thing very often. I don't really know what the counts are for when it reaches Psychic, but that Blast Burn did quite a lot of damage there to a very bulky water Pokemon, so that's pretty good. We're going to come in with the Bellossom here. We get the extra Bullet Seed through as we should do. They get the Psychic off, and I'm trying to farm them down, but I'm getting quite nervous. As I said, I don't know the exact counts, and we're at 100 energy here, so we're just going to throw the Leaf Blade and make sure we take out the Alomomola. They actually come in with a Hypno here, so that's kind of good for us. We're going to go for the Leaf Blade, throw one more Bullet Seed, and go for another Leaf Blade. This will either force a shield, or it will put the Hypno very low. We get a shield here, and that's really good for us. We are going to shield this. It's probably a Thunder Punch. They switch into the Frostlass, so now we have got to just take out the Frostlass with fast move damage alone, and we're just barely able to. We're going to throw the Earthquake here, get the final shield, and we don't want to debuff ourselves. And then we're going to throw one more Incinerate and Brave Bird this Hypno, and we're going to be able to take this game. GG's to my opponent there, very close game. And then here we lead into a Trevenant, so not a good matchup. We switch into the Charizard and they bring in a Drapion, and we're going to hope that they don't have Aqua Tail on this Drapion, because otherwise we're not even going to get to 2 Dragon Claws. We know that, so we're just going to go for the Blast Burn. If they don't shield here, we will be able to win back switch advantage. Unfortunately, they do shield, and that's okay. We're just going to let the Charizard go down. There's no way we can win switch advantage here now. The Drapion is just way too spammy with Aqua Tail. We're going to bring the Bellossom back in. We're hoping that because they've got Aqua Tail, they're running Crunch as the second move, and we're right. Now they actually switch into Trevenant there. I think they were trying to catch our Leaf Blade, but it's kind of backfired because we can switch into the Ho-oh, and now we're just going to fully commit to farming down this Trevenant. They threw the Shadow Ball, so now this can only be a Seed Bomb, and it's going to do barely anything to the Ho-oh as we double resist it. We're going to blindly throw the Earthquake into whatever comes in. It ends up being a Probopass. But we are going to have to throw 2 Incinerates. Fortunately, the Probopass has Spark and not Rock Throw, so even though it's super effective, it's not doing that much damage. And boom, we take out the Probopass with the Earthquake. We switch into Bellossom. We somehow overtap there, but we still get the Leaf Blade off before they can throw a charge move, and we're able to take that game. So crazy game there. GG's to my opponent. We lead into a Steelix here, so finally a Steel type that actually isn't that bad for our lead because they're also part Ground type, so we can at least do neutral damage with our Bullet Seeds and Leaf Blades. That does quite a decent amount of damage there. We are going to throw the Leaf Blade here, and then we're going to switch into the Ho-oh because remember, we do need to bait out whatever counters they have. They can only throw a Crunch here because other charge moves are resisted. They bring in a Noctowl, and we should have won CMP there because they switched. They should have been an extra turn, but unfortunately they got to the charge move before we got to ours. We throw the Brave Bird here, and we're going to throw another Brave Bird here, and this will either get the final shield or take out the Noctowl, and we get the final shield, so that's good. We're going to come in with the Charizard and then we're going to switch into the Bellossom to get them to expend some of their energy. They still do have quite a lot of energy stored, so that's not great for us. We're going to have to shield this. Sky Attack would do quite a lot of damage. Now we're farming up extra energy. They actually switch into the Steelix. They're not able to get to a charge move. Now we're looking pretty good depending on what they have. They have a Surf Etched. So we're going to farm up a tiny bit extra energy, go for the Blast Burn, boom, we take out the Surf Etched, and then we have a Dragon Claw already ready. And we're going to be able to take out the Noctowl and win that game. Another 4-on-1 set you can see there, really successful team. We actually win the lead here, so that's great for us. They switch into a Shadow Hypno. We're actually not switching straight away. What we want to do is either chip damage or get a shield really early on. And now we have to switch here. We need to maintain switch advantage because that Blastoise is going to cause havoc for our Ho-oh in the back. But because we are even in shields now, we're going to be able to grab the last shield here, so now we're in a pretty good position. They do get to another Thunder Punch. We're going to shield this and we should be able to just barely outpace them to the next charge move before they take us out with Confusion. And we're able to take out the Hypno there. The Blastoise comes back in. We're going to overfarm slightly and throw into the Blastoise to avoid them catching on a different Pokemon. That apparently did barely any damage. They switch into the Registeel here. Shadow Ho-oh is a great answer to Registeel. Flash Cannon is resisted. We're going to farm up to 100 energy, throw the Earthquake, and we actually undercharge here, hoping we can get one more fast move in before the Blastoise comes back in. Unfortunately we couldn't, but you can see there the Blastoise still has almost all of its health, so I don't know what that Leaf Blade, where the damage went into that. Really confusing. But we're still able to win that game, and now we lead into a Whiscash, and you're going to see here, this is one of the examples where the ABB team is actually going to struggle against Pokemon when you win the lead, because we don't have necessarily direct answers to like safe swaps. So we're going to bring in the Charizard here, and we are going to have to double shield if we want to maintain switch advantage, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to go for the Dragon Claw here. Hopefully we get a shield, because actually we'd probably rather a shield, but we actually take out the Noctowl there, and then they're going to farm us down with the Frostlass. We do get to a Dragon Claw, and that's good, but a loaded Frostlass is going to be very difficult for my team to face with no shields. We switch into the Ho-oh here, hoping to catch a move, but unfortunately we don't. We're waiting to get to as much energy as we can before we throw the Earthquake. It does quite a lot of damage here, and they're throwing too soon, I think, for this to be a Blizzard. It is just a Mud Bomb, and that's okay. They throw another Mud Bomb. This isn't going to take us out, but unfortunately we're not going to be able to incinerate them down. So we have to throw the Brave Bird here, and all we can do is hope that they throw into our Ho-oh, but they're disciplined. They don't do that, and they farm us down, and now they're going to avalanche our Bellossom and take us out. So GG's there, really well played to my opponent there. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment letting me know what was your favourite battle from this video and why. And also, like I said in the final game, this team did really well when I lost the lead, because I was able to bait out one of the most dominant counter to my Pokemon in the back, and then the other one was able to do fairly well in the end game. But unfortunately, when I win the lead and they have some kind of safe swap, I don't really have the Pokemon to necessarily go toe-to-toe with those safe swaps, especially on a slight energy disadvantage. So that's kind of where ABB teams fall short, is when Pokemon, like other teams, have a safe swap instead of running ABB teams themselves. But yeah, I did still have a lot of success with this team. As I said, I went 4-on-1 4 times and then a 3-2. So overall, really positive day with this team. And yeah, with that being said, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.